Since November 24, 2023, Andrew Cross, also known by his YouTube alias Desert Drifter, had uploaded over 50 videos to his channel where he combined exploration, adventure, and history to uncover sometimes forgotten stories hidden in the world's most remote places. His content was a blend of off-road expeditions and deep dives into the past, mostly involving tracing ancient trade routes, investigating lost civilizations, or searching for long-abandoned settlements. Unlike most channels, Andrew had experienced remarkably fast growth on YouTube, amassing almost 500,000 subscribers in just over a year. Disturbingly, on March 3, 2025, Andrew's wife took to his page and posted a chilling video.
Friday night, Andrew was in a really bad accident, and he is currently in the intensive care unit fighting for his life from a really severe brain injury.
Andrew had been involved in a major car accident on the night of January 31st at the intersection of N First Street and North Avenue in Chicago. Even more unsettling, she stated Andrew had suffered a severe traumatic brain injury, had been taken into the intensive care unit, had undergone brain surgery, and was fighting for his life. According to reports, it appeared that a white van traveling eastbound on North Avenue at a high speed collided with the rear of a passenger vehicle stopped at a red light. This vehicle was Andrew's, and he was in it. The impact caused significant damage to Andrew's vehicle, resulting in both Andrew and the driver of the van sustaining serious injuries and being transported to the hospital. There was initial speculation that the incident occurred during a street race, but after an investigation by the Grand Junction Police Department, it was determined that street racing was not a factor in the crash. The driver of the van, identified as Ragnar Nicholas Crystal, aged 37, suffered serious injuries and was released from the hospital after receiving medical treatment. However, he was later issued an arrest warrant and taken into custody by the Grand Junction Police Department on Friday, February 21, 2025, without resisting or attempting to evade capture. Ragnar was then transported to the Mesa County Detention Facility and charged with vehicular homicide, reckless driving, careless driving, and driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Disturbingly, Andrew, on the other hand, was determined to never be able to recover from his injuries. Sadly, on March 4, 2025, Andrew lost his life at the age of 36 after being removed from life support. To this day, Andrew is remembered as a prime example of what it means to live adventurously. Through his hundreds of thousands of fans, friends, and family, his legacy lives on. This case is somewhat a little different. Nicholas Prosper wasn't a full-time YouTuber, but he did have experience making videos on YouTube, making him someone who could technically be classified as one. Nicholas's very first video was about anime, a common starting point for many teenage gaming YouTubers. However, Nicholas's second video would take a much darker turn. In this video, he detailed how he had been banned from a site known for hosting uncensored content due to a post he had made. This post contained disturbing and inappropriate statements about minors. I don't support involuntary activities with children. I do, however, see no issue with voluntary child-adult activities. These statements would ultimately and eventually lead to his ban from the platform. Upon reviewing more of his now deleted videos, where he showcased scripts he had written, it became more evident to me that Nicholas held some deeply disturbing opinions on various topics. As wild as his opinions and theories became, many of his videos appeared incoherent, filled with absurd and disturbing statements, coupled with nonsensical rambling, and displaying clear signs of disorganized thinking. It was evident that Nicholas was truly disturbed. Nicholas was born on December 18, 2005, to Juliana and Ray Prosper and had 3 siblings. Although he initially had a friend group during his teenage years, he gradually became more isolated as he grew older. Over time, he developed a disturbing fascination with school shootings, particularly the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, and had decided he specifically wanted to carry out a massacre of his own, specifically targeting around 30 people to achieve the highest death toll in the UK. He had also planned this massacre for over a year and had scheduled it to take place on Friday the 13th of September. From what we know, Nicholas specifically chose his former primary school due to his prior knowledge of the school's layout and security system. On September 12, just a day before carrying out his plan, he successfully bought a double-barreled shotgun and 100 cartridges from a local dealer for £650 using a forged firearms license. Nicholas had also conducted online searches on how to kill with a shotgun, as well as disturbing queries related to necrophilia. For those who don't know, necrophilia is a condition where a person has an abnormal attraction to dead bodies. This can include having fantasies or performing actions involving corpses. In the early hours of the shooting day, Nicholas uploaded a video to Mega expressing contempt for his sister Giselle over a decision she had made months prior in a video game series called The Walking Dead.
June 30th, my sister decided to make the only correct choices in episode 1 of season 1 of The Walking Dead games, and for that her face will be mutilated further than necessary.
This game series, developed by Telltale Games, is heavily story-driven and focuses on character development, emotional choices, and survival in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by zombies, where players must make difficult moral choices that shape the story. These choices affect how characters in the game perceive and trust them, affect relationships and survival outcomes, and frequently force players to choose who to save in deadly situations, permanently altering the story. A character called Clementine is the main protagonist in most of the series. Nicholas's sister, Giselle, had chosen to kill the characters Larry and the St. John brothers in front of Clementine. This decision deeply enraged Nicholas. Nicholas had even posted angry comments on a YouTube channel that had uploaded a video making the same choices Giselle had made. Nicholas also claimed that he was the chosen one, chosen by Clementine herself, before finally proclaiming no more killings of Larrys and St. Johns in front of Clementine.
I am the chosen one, chosen by Clementine. I am guided, as Christians are guided by Jesus Christ, and there will be no more killings of Larrys in front of Clementine, no more killings of St. John's in front of Clementine, and overall Clementine's content will be preserved, maximized. That's the message I want to give out.
It was evident at this moment that Nicholas had plans to end his sister before carrying out the massacre he had planned. Even more disturbingly, according to investigations, Nicholas had planned to perform necrophilia with Giselle's corpse, but the waking up of his mother foiled his plans. A few hours after this recording, at around 5:30 a.m., there were reports to the police of gunshots by their neighbors. Upon arrival by the police at 5:50 a.m., they stumbled onto a horrifying scene. 3 bodies killed by gunshot wounds. Juliana was shot in the head, Giselle was shot in the face and chest, and Kyle, his brother, was shot in the chest and stabbed with a knife around 100 times. His father and youngest brother seemed to not be around or living with them. Believing his targeted school would be locked down due to the gunshots, Nicholas found a police car, turned himself in, and was arrested at 11:50 a.m., approximately 600 meters from the crime scene. A shotgun and 33 rounds were found hidden in a bush nearby. He was later charged with 3 counts of murder, purchasing or acquiring a shotgun without a certificate, possession of a shotgun, and possession of a bladed article in a public place. On February 24, 2025, Nicholas Prosper pleaded guilty to 3 counts of murder at Luton Crown Court, along with all other charges. On March 19, Nicholas was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum of 49 years to be served. What started as simple covers of popular songs quickly evolved into a full-blown career as Christina Grimmie began captivating larger and larger audiences with her incredible vocal talent. Better known by her YouTube alias ZeldixLove64, Christina Grimmie began uploading covers of popular songs on July 17, 2009. Her rise to fame skyrocketed when she competed on The Voice Season 6 in 2014, where she finished in 3rd place. Christina kept releasing music, touring, and connecting with her devoted fan base, solidifying her place as a rising star in the music industry. However, on June 10, 2016, Christina would become the center of a deeply disturbing event. That night, she performed at the Plaza Live in Orlando, Florida, as part of a tour with the band Before You Exit. As always, after the concert, she took time for a meet and greet with fans. But disturbingly, among the crowd that night was a man with far more sinister intentions. At approximately 10:24 p.m., a man later identified as 27-year-old Kevin James Loibel approached Christina when it was his turn in line. As she welcomed him with open arms, Kevin instead pulled out a handgun and fired multiple shots at her.
Yeah, we can do both. No, just Christina posters.
1 to her head and 3 to her torso. Christina's brother, who was selling merchandise at a nearby table, immediately tackled Kevin. In the struggle, Kevin managed to break free, backed against a wall, pulled out another pistol, and shot himself in the head. He was later pronounced dead at the scene. Christina was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Sadly, she succumbed to her injuries and was pronounced dead shortly after. Upon investigation, authorities would reveal deeply unsettling details about Kevin. Kevin did not appear to know Christina personally, nor did Christina know him, but Kevin had become fixated on Christina through her online presence, watching her videos repeatedly and delusionally believing they were meant to be together. He has had no social life and spent most of his time isolated in his room. In an effort to make himself worthy of Christina, Kevin tried to make himself more physically attractive for her through weight loss, hair transplants, teeth whitening, and LASIK eye surgery. His only friend and co-workers were aware of his obsession with Grimmy and noted that he always became visibly angry and defensive when told how unlikely it was that he could begin a relationship with Christina. After thorough investigations, Kevin's motives became clear. He had developed an intense attachment to Christina, and upon realizing that a relationship with her was unlikely, he made the horrifying decision to take her life so that no one else could have her. To honor her memory, her family established the Christina Grimmie Foundation, dedicated to helping families affected by gun violence and supporting those facing similar tragedies. To this day, Christina Grimmie is remembered as a beautiful soul with an unforgettable voice. Her influence continues to live on through her music, her fans, and the impact she left on the world. On April 3, 2018, at approximately 12:46 p.m., a shooting occurred at the headquarters of YouTube in San Bruno, California. The shooter was 38-year-old Nasim Najafi Agdam. Nasim was an Iranian-American woman. She was born in Iran and immigrated to the United States with her family in 1996. Since 2010, Nasim had begun posting content across multiple platforms, including YouTube. She posted fitness videos, artwork, animal rights activism content, and even bizarre skits. Her videos were somewhat unconventional, strange, colorful, and often unsettling. Some featured elaborate costumes, robotic movements, and cryptic messages about health, veganism, and censorship. However, in early 2018, Nasim became increasingly obsessed with the idea that YouTube was deliberately suppressing her content.
My new videos hardly get views, and my old videos that used to get many views stopped getting views.
She began publicly ranting about the platform's policies, claiming that her videos were being demonetized and restricted without reason. She believed YouTube had destroyed her online career, cutting off her revenue and visibility. Then, on April 3, 2018, she decided to take matters into her own hands. Nasim left her family home in San Diego, California, and drove to YouTube's headquarters in San Bruno, armed with a legally purchased 9mm handgun. At 12:46 p.m., Nasim walked through the courtyard of the headquarters, where hundreds of YouTube employees were gathered for lunch, and opened fire, sending the entire campus into chaos. In the rampage, she shot 3 people, a 36-year-old man and 2 women, aged 32 and 27. But fortunately, no one died from this. Just minutes later, before authorities could stop her, Nasim turned the gun on herself and took her own life. A woman YouTuber who once simply wanted to share her ideas on the internet eventually spiraled into paranoia, resentment, and ultimately destruction. Since December 24, 2016, YouTuber Philip Inouye, better known by his online alias P2is the Name, had uploaded nearly 1,000 videos to his channel, amassing an impressive following of almost 4 million subscribers. His content was a mix of gaming, pranks, and lifestyle vlogs, often featuring flashy cars and expensive purchases. Philip had even launched his clothing brand, Don't Mind Us, which was beginning to take off. Sadly, in early 2025, Philip's thriving career would come to an end. On the night of March 5, 2025, Philip collapsed and died suddenly in the mailroom of his residence in Los Angeles, California. According to reports, Philip was not known to have any major health issues, making his passing all the more bizarre and unsettling. As of now, according to police statements, an autopsy is pending, and authorities have not released any official statement regarding what may have caused his sudden death at the time of making this video. To this day, Philip is remembered as a charismatic entertainer who inspired millions through his content. His entrepreneurial abilities and dedication to success have left a lasting impact on his fans.